Okay, just a couple of quick notes regarding plugins. I would actually suggest, if you're just getting to know WordPress, disable plugins. So I'm going to deactivate the SEO plugin I've just activated, and get to know WordPress fully without plugins enabled. And actually, it's worth getting to know WordPress fully with just a very basic theme. So for example, 2014 or 2015 theme, which doesn't have any added functionality compared to some of the more advanced themes. Because that way you won't start getting all these extra bonus options in the menus and on pages. So you'll get to know the core WordPress, and it's well worth becoming familiar with that. So then when new options appear, you know they're new options and you know how to, their context within your WordPress site. So just spending, an hour, a couple of hours, even a day or two or more, getting to know the blank canvas, the foundation that is WordPress before you start installing too much other stuff, that can be a good way to really start to understand and get familiar with the software. But remember, themes and plugins sit on top of WordPress and they add to it. WordPress is the foundation that this extra software sits on, because themes and plugins are software that sit on top of WordPress. Okay, so that's one thing to bear in mind. Another thing to bear in mind regarding plugins, don't get too carried away installing too many plugins, because it's all software. And if you have too much software running at once, it can slow your site down and it can potentially cause problems. So do choose your plugins wisely. For example, I've seen two very similar plugins. The plugin was to embed slides into WordPress pages. And the person whose site I was working on, they had installed two plugins that did this. So they were cancelling each other out, basically. So I just deactivated one, left the other one active, and everything worked fine. So plugins are software, and they can cause problems if you have too many of them running at once, or they can slow your site down. So do choose carefully, and have a good reason for the plugin you're actually installing and running and configuring, rather than just, that looks fun, let's install that. Unless it is just a hobby site, then it doesn't matter a huge amount. But a business site, you don't want to bog it down too much with software, with plugins that can potentially cause issues and make the site slow.